Hello, my name is Riley. I'm in my second year of teaching, so I only started last year, and I am lucky enough this year to have two students in my class that fall under the hard of hearing category. So I have one girl who is profoundly deaf, so she pretty much cannot hear at all. And I also have another little girl who is severely hard of hearing, and she's got a bone conductor and she wears a hearing aid each day at school. Both of these girls are Auslan users, and other than Auslan, there's a whole range of different adjustments that I make within my classroom to make sure that these girls get a sense of achievement every day in every lesson. So some of these are that I have an Auslan interpreter that works with the kids every day, and I'm blessed that I have a beautiful relationship with my Auslan interpreter, so it makes both of our lives a lot easier. We also have sound field systems, so you can see that's what I'm wearing around my neck. So within the classroom, especially for my girl with the bone conductor and hearing aid, it just is like a microphone, I guess, and then there's 4 speakers around the room. So your voice, no matter how soft you talk, is then projected, and it's like a surround sound system then. So they're still hearing over the top of any background noise, and it tries to block out that background noise for you. So I use this every single day whenever I'm teaching, and the kids will tell me if I'm not using it. Another adjustment that I use, not just for my 2 hard of hearing girls, but because I'm in an Indigenous community where all of my students are EALD learners, visuals. Everything that I do, visuals. Especially for my girl who is profoundly deaf, she pretty much relies on visuals in all of her learning. And like I said, it doesn't just benefit these girls, it benefits all of them. So we've got a visual timetable. I will put up visuals of what they need to grab, what book they need. And yeah, pretty much just everything has a visual to match. I am also trying my hardest to very slowly learn Auslan myself, so that it's not just my interpreter using it within the classroom. I also then try to make it a whole class thing. So for Phonics of a Morning, I'll start with a YouTube video by Jack Hartman where he goes through the alphabet and does the signs for each letter. So that's not only taught me the signs, but as well all of the class, so that they're learning to communicate with the girls as well. We also do our counting every day. So we count by 1s, 2s, 5s and 10s. And I encourage the kids to not just say the numbers, but sign them as well. So by doing that and making it a whole class activity, the kids can then use those signs to communicate with those girls outside of the classroom. And the kids, teaching any class, you know that you come across some hiccups, and I have found that while having these students in my class, there has been hiccups with them as well, just like any other student. So at the start of the year, we had some really big behavior issues with one of my girls in particular. So to get through these hiccups, trust me, at the start, it feels like, what am I doing? It's going to be sink or swim. However, what worked for me was that learning the signs slowly so that I could then communicate with her to sign no, that's bad behavior, and redirect her to what the right thing to do is. I also made sure that myself, my teacher aide, my Auslan interpreter, my teaching partner from the other year 1 class, our head of behavior, making sure that everybody is on the same page and that everyone is following through with the same procedures if she does not follow your directions. So making sure that everyone is on the same page ensures that she is getting the same consequence and the same direction from every adult, regardless of who it is that's dealing with her. And then I guess I'll end with my top 2 strategies for overcoming hiccups, I guess you can call them, challenges, hiccups, is number one is relationships. No child, especially these children that are hard of hearing, they're not going to respond to you in a positive way if you do not have a relationship with them. So probably the first 2 weeks was predominantly making sure I spent the time with her, trying to create those relationships so that she knows that I'm just not the nasty person telling her no all the time. And understanding, talking with family. A big one was talking to her dad and her Popeye to understand what her interests were, so that then we can aim her learning at her interests. For example, she loved animals. And I guess my last strategy, but the key strategy, is routines. Routines. She now knows that, or both of them know, what is happening in the day. I use my visual timetable. They're used to it now. They know where they've got to go, what happens before lunch, what happens after lunch, what days they go to other activities. And they get in that routine. They'll then tell you if you've broken that routine, but definitely routines. And it's not easy. I would say it probably took me nearly a whole term to get that routine, to push through those behaviors. It's not something that just comes like that. You need to work through it, work with the other adults around you, and it will eventually come, and it works. And let me tell you, at the start, I felt extremely overwhelmed. I didn't even have any idea about the different degrees of deafness. I was, like I said, I'm only a second year teacher, so I feel like last year I just got my head around the school, the curriculum and all of that, and now I've had this thrown at me, and at the start it really felt like sink or swim. So just to let you know, at the start it may feel overwhelming, but reach out. There is so many supports around you that will help. And at the start, I felt like I was on my own. I didn't feel like I had support until you reach out and you know that there is so many people willing to do whatever they can to help you succeed with these students. The support I've received this year has been endless, just from my individual school, my principal, my deputy. We have a case manager for the kids. Each kid has a different one. The SEP teachers, my own teacher aide in my classroom, our hosers. We have a whole school sign of the week on parade, so that also encompasses the whole school, to get the whole school to learn. We've had Karen, the principal advisor for Auslan, come out and work with planning where these kids are at, what they know, what they don't know, where to start. We've had Rosie and Natasha come out to work with us, with the kids, and they're the experts. So reach out to those people that do know. They are there to help. And to end on a positive, I just wanted to share some words of encouragement. So yes, at the start, I felt overwhelmed. I thought I was on my own. I didn't know how I was going to cope with these kids as well as the rest of my class. So I guess the biggest thing is you've got support. Reach out to that support. This experience has taught me so much. I can't even describe the learning that has occurred along the way. I'm so much more understanding now of these students, and I don't just look at them, but I look at every student now from a different perspective and figure out how I can help every single student in my class succeed. So there's been lots of learning. It's been amazing, and the kids are truly beautiful kids. These kids are just like every other child in your class. They just want to come to school and be loved and to learn. So if you can set up a positive space for them to come, they may not be happy walking in that door every day, but by the end of the day, or at some time during the day, if you put a smile on their face, This is their safe place. I can guarantee once you set those routines, create those relationships, those kids are going to appreciate it. Do all you can, reach out to those supports, because these kids are so beautiful. They just want to do their best for you. So if you can figure out how they can best learn, they're going to perform for you. So thank you for coming along on my journey. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope I didn't scare you. Trust me, I'm in term 3 now, and I already look back on this year and see how far I have come. I haven't sunk, I have swam, and that is because of everyone around me. It's not just a one-person job. It's all of the people around you that help you get there, and it's been the best year so far. So thank you again for listening, and I hope you have a great experience just like I have.